Welcome back YouTube to another episode of Parkasaurus here on the J72 Gaming channel. My name is Jacob, but you can just call me Jay here, and check it out. It's wintertime. I didn't even know the game did this. It just kind of popped up one day, and I was like, winter. It was like Sunday, winter, or something else. So that's pretty cool. This game goes through the seasons. I wanted to let's drop here in first person mode and get a more hands-on feel for the park as I kind of talk to you about what's going on, what's the plan for today's episode. So first things first is since I have played just a few days, about a week I would say, off camera, the dinosaurs have grown. We've got our Triceratopses and our Stegosauruses, and I'm gonna guess those are fully grown as far as this game goes. Um, it's pretty large. Whoa, look at that. What? Alright, having fun with the rock there. I didn't know they did that. That's hilarious. Um, so let's back out here and I can show you kind of the main screen what I've got. So I've got 61 hearts. So that's awesome. The dinosaurs are happy and those are racking up, and I will show you what I plan to buy with those in a second. I also have 660 science. Now the science I'm still saving up for. I'm really gunning for this bathroom pack because I want the picnic table. I don't know why the picnic table is in the bathroom pack, but that's the way it goes. You can also get a falafel truck, which they call human herbivores, as the shop, and then an upgraded outhouse, which is pretty cool. But that is the plan for that. Now over here in the hearts menu, I'm generally speaking, because I like building these biomes, aiming for the different type of plants and stuff. But you can see I've completed, let me scroll back actually, I've completed everything from the start up to this whole row here. And onto the sand, and I went and bought this guy right here, which gives us the wire fence, which is high strength, low privacy. So this is one of the first things we're going to need to be able to start getting those higher tier dinosaurs. I also grabbed this guy right here, which is the metal fence, which is medium, so it's a little bit better for the dinosaur's happiness, etc. Some things we're going to buy right now, however, we're going to get this one here, which gives us the stump feeder and the ball feeder, as well as the cylindrical feeder, the log feeder, the rubber toy, and a hat. Now this is something I wanted to show you guys, is that they have, it's kind of silly, but they have hats in this game. So we're going to get this, we're going to get that holiday fun hat, and I think we're going to throw it on our first dinosaur, which is not Homer, but Harley. So if you go here to the info, once they're old enough, if they're too young, they actually can't wear hats. But you click on the head. I actually have a fez hat as well. Oh, it's in... Where is that? I don't know where that ended up. But that's fine, I'll figure that out. Luckily we have the fez hat from earlier. So we'll put the fez hat on Harley here. And get a good look at him. Looking great, Harley. So obviously it's pretty goofy looking. Goes with the vibe of the graphics of this game, which are, pretty cutesy, but a little comical. But it allows us to get some personality on each of these dinosaurs, which I like. I also learned that you could put it on your staff members, which I also worked on a little bit. So here in the employee view, I found out that you can go to, let's go to one of our vets here in staff. Let's go to Alpha Corin. You can station them, and if I click this button, it'll show where I put the station. So this is his range of influence, and basically he's only going to work on anything that a vet would work on in this zone. So it allows me to buy a few veterinaries and put them in different locations across the park. You can see here Alpha Corin I set in the new Alpine zone the Tundra zone that we worked on last episode, which is awesome. I was also pretty shocked when I clicked this button and learned that they actually have upgrades. So I think Alpha Corin here is new, but if we go along here, we can find a guy like this guy. He's got 6 points. This is one of our first veterinaries, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and assign these 6 points. We'll give him 2 speed, we'll give him 3 ability, and we'll give him a point of personality, just because look at that face. He's got some personality going on there. So yeah, I can also put hats on them once I figure out where that hat I got went, and how those unlock through the heart system. Then yeah, we can start personalizing some of our our caretakers, and maybe we can theme an entire area, right? Like we'll put a bunch of different party hats on all the dinos in one pen, and then the workers in those pens are also wearing party hats. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The last thing I wanted to walk with you guys is through here, and before I do this time lapse of the next exhibit today, I spent some time coming through here with lights and detailing out the portion of the park in this tundra area that I didn't finish last episode. So I've got some outhouses, give them an ice cream truck, because obviously we're up in the mountains. It's not really what you want, but it's on theme. Here's an info booth. The guests kind of head to her when they're low on a specific thing. I have it set to fun, so if they're kind of bored, they'll come to her and she'll be like, hey, go off and find the T-Rex, it's over here, or whatever, and they'll head off in that direction, so that's awesome. Let's head to next day here. I kind of wanted to show that off in the dark with the lights, but that's okay. Got a sneak peek of that for a little bit. Just came through here with some ferns on the side, and what's up, bud? You know, the essentials and whatnot. And I think it came out pretty good. It's kind of tight back here, but it makes like an interesting, rugged, closed-off feeling in the mountains. I also found logs in the decoration section, which is meant to increase your guests' happiness, but I was like, hey, that's logs. I can throw that into the exhibits and give a little bit more of detail. So I was pretty happy to find that, and I'm excited to see, as I go along this Heart and Science system, what decorations are meant for guests, but will actually look good in exhibits as I design them. So that is exciting. And then you might have seen here, I put another gondola, which I think is in a pretty awesome spot, honestly. I could sit here and just hope to see some dinosaurs over that extremely tall grass I was forced to place last episode. But let us talk about what's going to go on in the next time lapse. The goal for this episode today is to work on the rest of the Alpine. So I am going to have this very similar blocks to work with, if you will, or options with the trees and stuff. I'm still working with mud, and I'm going to be working with mud haul in the swamp too. So I'm going to have to do something to make it feel different, even though it's going to look very similar. And I think the answer to that lies in the swamp. So like I was saying before, is I really want this whole map to feel like a biome. That's why I came through here in the first episode, just kind of did some jagged ridge lines and a river through the whole map, and a giant mountain over in this top. I want it all at the end to be able to zoom out and see basically a landscape that makes sense. And then once you get closer, you realize, oh, there's paths through there that go to the dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs of that terrain and of that biome exist in that spot. So everything's hopefully going to tie together, and it's going to be pretty cool to see from far. That said, this needs to be a swamp, and so my thought process here was to make the Alpine section feel different from the Tundra section. It's going to have a lot more water. That is already what it wants. It wants to be really rugged and really wet. So I'm just going to roll with that. And this whole thing is going to be valleys of rivers leading to the swamp. And the swamp itself will have 3 exhibits. One of them is going to be our first carnivore, which I'm excited for. But that is the overall goal for that. And here's the time lapse of me trying to make that come to fruition. guys know that feeling in Minecraft where the very last block you place in your project is the last block you had on your inventory and everything just feels great? Well, that didn't happen here. I got very close, but I was doing the grass and I needed just a little bit more over here and here. And then I ran out of money, which is unfortunate. But instead of playing out a few more days and finishing up the tiny little bit, I figured I was at a good enough point here where I could stop the time lapse of the exhibit and kind of dive in here in first person and kind of explain my thought process of each part of this Alpine valley, if you will, with a bunch of rivers. Um, so I definitely had a lot less grass going on here than some of the other areas, and that was on purpose because I really didn't want this to feel overgrown. However, there are still a few places where I dotted the alder trees, mainly on the mountainsides, and you can tell I tried to be realistic as much as I could be. So there's a bunch of grass along the mountainsides and with the alder trees and things like that. And I think it went pretty well. The dinosaurs have their own kind of little section here. You know what? This is hard to explain in first person, so let's go to my favorite free cam. They have their own little birch forest here, which is pretty nice. And when I zoom out, the overall vibe is definitely much more birch forest than it is alder. But I still wanted a thick alder patch in the back here. My thought process is really this whole back section is a massive, rich alder forest, but some of it got burnt, so I continued that over here in this section. So that whole area in the back here is all burnt up, which is kind of neat. I liked over here. I really wanted it to be wide open, and so this is probably the most open section of any exhibit I've built yet, which felt weird to build. It was kind of less is more, and I wanted to put more put more plants down and whatnot, but then something instinct just told me that no, I should just refrain from placing any more, have it super open, and changes the vibe. This one's cool. It's kind of a river shot, so I did a ton of cattails on here, and then this one will eventually be one of the main viewing areas that I expect people to be going to. This one's, these three are just kind of along the pathway, and then this one here is also kind of be slapped into a corner here. This one will be pretty busy as well, but right here will be kind of the connecting zone between the swamp, the Alpine, and the desert, specifically the savanna section of the desert. So it might be like a food court, or at least a little kind of hub, if you will, right there. So yeah, that is my explanation of this habitat. It was definitely a lot of fun. Now I'm going to run the game out a little bit more because I'm broke, as you can see, but we're making about, I don't know, it's like 2K, 3K every day, which is awesome. I will be working through the portal system to get our few dinosaurs in, and I'll come back through here and touch this up a little bit. Not too much, and you guys don't need to see that time lapse of that, but uh, I will be back with you with some new friends and let you guys see which tier 2 dinosaurs I decided to go for. Look who I have. Got a trio of some new friends for us. Let's go ahead and hatch these guys out. Aren't they adorable? So these are Styrocosauruses, and they are, I think, yeah, they're our first tier 2 dinosaur, which is pretty exciting. Let me load up the town here, and I can show you kind of what I got going on here in the background. So you can see as I scroll through here, all the different dinosaurs have a different science cost and a different heart cost. And the hearts, we're doing all right. We're I mean, 69, we're doing just fine. But the science is going up a little bit slower. So that's really what becomes the roadblock here to fill the pens that I've already created with the dinosaurs that I created them for. So if we go here and we sort by Alpine, which shows you what we just worked on. We've got the Styrocosauruses, and they are a tier 2. You can see in the top right there underneath their name. They're tier 2 with a little green gem. This Alpine pen that I just built is going to house all these dinosaurs you see. It's going to have the Gigantus Spinosaurus, the Kesmoceratops, and the Sauropelta. Some of these are the first time I've ever said those out loud, but you can tell they're 1,000, 2,000, 2,000. So while I have the space for them, I don't have the science, and the walls that I built that I currently have can only withstand tier 2 dinosaurs. So I set these pens up with that in mind. So they're good for now, and we'll build some money, we'll build some science, we'll build some more exhibits. But eventually, we will come back here, and we are going to upgrade the walls, and we're going to fill this Alpine exhibit full of all 4 of those dinosaurs. I wanted to show you guys this guy too, because he got huge. Look at Moses. You can tell much better when I'm in free cam, but he is absolutely ginormous compared to the exhibit, and way bigger than the Triceratopses and the Stegosauruses we had. So he's now our big boy on the block, roaring, letting us know. Here is some of the pathwork too I did very quickly in between clips there, just to make it a little bit nicer for the people and actually, make it so they come over here and they're happy and they pay me. I also did way over here. I continued the long path that goes around. Got some, seats and decorations and nothing too fancy, but it fills the space and I think it looks good. Even though it's a tight alleyway, it might become, a pretty unique section of the park. We're not going to really have too many of those, and there are sometimes you're at a zoo or a amusement park, and you just realize, hey, I'm at the border of the park, and it just kind of makes sense that you're in an alleyway or a wall or whatever. Before I close off this episode, I do want to show you what the plan is for the future. So next episode, if we sort by swamp here, the next episode is probably going to be a twofer. 2-for-1. We're going to build a Shuntogosaurus. I just call it the Shunt, or the Shant. Excuse me. The Shant, and as well as the Albertosaurus. The Spino will have his own exhibit. He is tier 4. He's going to be, apex. He's going here in the swamp, but his pen we're going to save for later down the road. As well as this guy here. He is also a tier 4 dinosaur. He will be fine chilling with the Shant, but he's tier 4, and like I said, can't quite handle their wall breaking ability at the moment. So that is the plan going forward. We'll be building it right out here, connecting somehow to this place. But that's it for me from today, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure, do all those YouTube things, like, comment, really helps out new channels like mine. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.